FYR Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the FYR Podcast. I am your co-host, Michael Wright, and across from me, as always, is the man you came to see, the one and only, the legendary Mr. C.T. Fletcher. Pops, what's the word today?
Man, we have the power couple in the house today. I call them my kids because I adopted them a few years back. And Zahir and Keeyana Crite.
All right, but before we jump into the show, a couple of quick things I need to address. So a lot of you guys have been hitting us up wondering why me and CT were not in Arizona for the AEW event, Double or Nothing. Look, let me just tell you, I was going to try to push through it. But between Kim and the old man over here, they just wouldn't let me do it. So we were going to leave here on Saturday, drive down to Arizona, stay a couple of nights, do the event on Sunday. I just did not have the energy for no 6-hour drive. And then to do all the stuff we were going to be obligated to do while we were there. So that is why we were not at Arizona for Double or Nothing. But July the 2nd, we will be in Ontario for the AEW event, and we will be in Arlington, Texas for their all-in event, for AEW's all-in event. So we are still looking forward to partnering with AEW. So thank you guys so much for the concern, but that's why we were not there. So blame him and blame Kim, because I was really trying to get there, but they were like, boys, sit your ass down somewhere. Don't overdo it. And I definitely, honestly, I've been feeling better. So for those of you who don't know, Mr. Fletcher and Kim wanted to give up one of their stem cells appointments. So Friday of last week, I got my first dose of stem cells, and I'm actually feeling a lot better. Wasn't feeling good enough to make that drive this past weekend, but I am getting better. So I know by the time July rolls around for the all-in event, I should be hopefully back to normal a little bit. And so we will definitely be there. So guys, be on the lookout for more collaboration between the FYR Podcast and AEW Wrestling. So check us out there. Again, I just want to apologize, but that's why we were not there. So blame me. But when I tell y'all this open heart surgery is whooping my ass, it is whooping my ass. But I am getting better, though. So thank you guys so much for the concerns. I just wanted to put a quick explanation out there why we were not there. All right, now back to the show. I'm going to let Pop start this off because you guys know there are certain people that come on this show that CT holds very, very close to him. So I'm going to let him explain the relationship and then we'll get into the show. But normally when I let him start for a specific reason. It's just because we got special people on the show that I know means a lot to him. So Pops, take it away.
Well, thank you, Mr. Skin and Bones. This motherfucker is sucked up.
For those of you asking, yes, I have. Since I got home, I put on about 5 pounds, but I'm still
where?
Probably in my damn head, most likely.
I believe that.
Yeah, just the appetite after open heart. So I don't know how it is for other people that had it, but it messed with me something seriously. So it's taken a while for my appetite to come back. So that's why I'm still in here looking frail. But I feel good. That's the main point. I feel good. I got a follow-up appointment here in a couple of weeks, so hopefully I'll be clear to get back into the gym after that and try to put my size back on, because every time I look in the mirror, I'm just disgusted at how small. And mind you, I've always been a big dude, damn near 500 pounds at one time. So to be under 200 pounds right now, I probably ain't been under 200 pounds since I was in middle school. So this is all new for me. all new for me. But back to the show, you old bastard.
Yeah. Okay, so I call this is the power couple right here. I met this young lady and young gentleman, my son and daughter, I adopted them, in New York for the first time. And I spoke to Kiana, and she told me she had just done 70.
60 push-ups.
60, and I'm not, you know how they let girls sometimes do the push-ups off their knees. Mm-hmm. She did 70 military men style, front leaning rest position. I said 60 push-ups. Wait a minute. Girl, you didn't do no 60 push-ups. And I got to talking to them, and they felt like members of my family. Like I was talking to somebody from Arkansas, where I'm from, down home. Everybody don't get me. But they got me right off the bat, and we've been close friends. And like I said, it's my son and daughter adopted me ever since then. And well, if she did 60 push-ups, she's strong as shit. But I'm gonna take the opportunity on the podcast here today to dig in a little bit deeper. I know a little bit about the story. She got to tell some of her story at Iron Wars, which she won, by the way, easily. I think you're undefeated in competition now, aren't you?
Which one? Chicago?
Any competition.
I have everything.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, everything.
Shit, any of everything. She's
I'm not
undefeated.
done.
She ain't lost. She's just getting started.
Just getting started.
Now, I'm gonna start with Zahir because Zahir.
Say it however you want.
No, Zahir. I've been fucking up his name ever since I known him, and today I finally heard him say it.
And at least he calls you by your first name and not some derogatory name like he does all the time. So
yeah,
take that as a win, sir. Take it all. I'll take anything.
Zahir. Now, I want to know for you guys who don't know, Zahir is strong as fuck too. Now she's phenomenal, superwoman, undefeated, haven't lost the contest. She got it no matter what kind of contest. But Zahir is also strong as shit. But I want to know about your upbringing. Where were you born? How was your childhood at home? Did your daddy beat you? All that kind of stuff. That's what
I was actually a good kid.
Oh,
Kids, I didn't give my parents too much strife. But I was born in Camden, New Jersey, Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital. I grew up in Paulsboro, New Jersey, small town outside of Camden, 15 minutes from Philly. Raised predominantly by my mother, had a stepfather who was in my life, taught me a great work ethic and family values.
Oh.
That's the main things I got from him. So I try to be as respectful as possible within people's domiciles. Wherever I go, I show respect because I got it from him and my mother.
Right.
I met my dad, my biological dad, when I was 26. I'm 40 now.
Wow.
I get a lot of my personality from him.
Oh,
my personality.
You didn't know it until you met him.
Oh, didn't know.
Yeah.
Like my wife always talks about when when animals attack?
Yeah, when we were at his house watching.
Yeah, and he was just goofy, and I was just like,
I'm like, that's where he gets it from him.
And my youngest daughter is just like me,
Wow.
but worse.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Ball.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, I'm the type of person, I'm very overprotective of my family.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather take the brunt of everything as long as everybody else is okay.
Sound familiar?
Very.
Just growing up with my other siblings, I got 3 other siblings on my mother's side. I got 6 on my dad's side.
Wow.
I'm the second youngest on my dad's side. I'm the oldest on my mother's.
Wow.
Obviously, I stayed with my mother, so I grew up with them. Just whenever they got in trouble, I took it on just so my mom would stop and everything would be dead.
You better than me in that sense. I want to take it.
I had to. I don't like trouble. I don't like. I ain't gonna say I don't like confrontation. I just want everything to be settled right then and there, so everybody be all right.
Yeah,
that's just how I am. I'm always the first in the fire, last one come out. I'm one of those type people. I help anybody who needs it, as long as they don't show me they behind.
Yeah. Now, what happened when they do show you they behind?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, that's what we on the show for.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
That's what, this is a talk show. So what happened when they show they behinds?
I say it like this. There's a lot behind my emotion. My brother passed when he was 20. I'm 3 years older than him. I didn't really have the proper time to grieve from that. Then a year after that, we had twins. One of the sons passed. Another year, another son passed. And then our ray of sunshine, our daughter who's 14 years old now, came in right after that.
Wow.
Her birthday is a day before my brother's anniversary. He passed July 20th. Her birthday is the 19th.
Same day as my daughter's birthday. My oldest daughter's July.
So that's why I said I don't want to talk about it, because I'd rather talk a situation out than to throw my hands first, because it's a lot that's going to come out behind it. And I'm pretty sure everybody's been there for the most part. When you get mad, you black out, Some people don't know how to come back from that. I don't want to figure that out.
Yep.
You know, so I try not to go there. I try to settle a situation verbally. If it can't, then we got to do what we got to do. But other than that, leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Leave mine alone, and everything will be square.
The realest thing I done heard.
Yeah.
I
Leave
like
me
that.
alone.
Yep.
Leave me alone. Mind your business.
Fucking with you, don't be
Yeah.
fucking with me.
You know, mine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
I love you as much as Christ allows me to love you. No matter if I don't like you or not, I love you regardless. But leave me alone.
Speaking of that, in the same vein, is you jealous? Are you a jealous man?
No, I'm not.
No? Is he? Well, I'm gonna ask the wrong person. Is he a jealous man?
No, he's very supportive. Of
Really?
Very
So,
supportive.
no, I ain't that supportive and jealous. Different. Now he gonna cheer you on, and that's being supportive. Yeah, go Kiana. I'm talking about if somebody come up to you and be, hey, baby.
Oh, that kind of jealous.
Yeah, that kind of
I
jealous.
hope not.
Zahir?
I'm going to nip it in the bud before it happens.
Okay.
Because just like men know men, women know women,
Uh-huh.
when we see a man act a certain way, we're nipping in the bud before that happens.
Okay.
So she doesn't have to go through that.
So how you nip it in the bud?
Once you see
Zahir?
somebody, so if I see, say for instance, somebody standing there, I see them making googly eyes at my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already looking at them and I'm checking them visually.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see me because they're going to check and see if I'm looking.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
And I'm like, I'm on your behind. I ain't gonna say the other word,
Uh-huh.
but I'm on your behind.
Okay.
So a lot of times that diffuses the situation because they see they're already caught.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with a female.
Mm.
A woman might know somebody getting close or whatever. She might see it. Zahir, you see that? You know, man, well, I ain't see nothing. I ain't. You see it, but then you hope that she doesn't respond a certain way, so you nip it in the bud.
So you saying that Kiana might have a tad bit of jealousy in her?
No, she's not jealous at all. She's just real, and she doesn't want any problems.
Mm-hmm.
It takes less to upset me.
Oh, take that.
Yeah.
Takes less.
People don't understand
I
what he
quick.
says, the visual part of it. Because
Mhm.
I've been, since me and Kim been together, I haven't had to fight anybody, but the googly eyes, all of that stuff, and sometimes all it takes is a look. Like, I'm standing here, you see me standing.
Yep.
Now, if you want to pursue this further, that's on you.
Some people are
But
disrespectful.
I'm just letting you know
Yeah, they are.
that I see you.
Mhm.
And normally that's all it takes. They'll keep it moving. But, again, I haven't had to throw hands, but I've had to verbally check a few cats over the years. Luckily, as we've gone through our marriage and all that stuff, it hasn't been as bad, but early on, oh boy. So I totally feel you when you just like that visual aspect. Sometimes you just got to let them know, I see you.
You gotta look at them and give off that aura.
I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I see you. I
You
see
know you finna get your ass.
Yeah. I'll tell you, don't come over here. But
Yeah.
that's why I say I'd rather talk a situation out before it gets to fisticuffs because it can get really nasty.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna
can't
be
beat
able
the
to stop
world.
him.
Mm-mm.
And
I
the
can't
problem
beat
with
the
the
world,
fisticuffs part in today's world is it's not always just going to be a fight.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. And we as men, we can be overly protective, but sometimes you got to take into account that, okay, this cat may have a gun on him, a weapon, and I can step up and do all of this stuff. But sometimes, like you said, sometimes it's easier to talk it out or just walk away because you just never know. Like I've lost multiple friends of mine protecting their women. Thought they was just going to be a fight. The cat shot them. Like, so that's all kind of, especially as you get older, you have to take that stuff into consideration. Yeah, we can fight, but everybody ain't fighting these days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
First of all, a lot of cats can't fight.
Yeah.
So their first resort.
A lot of people can't. They don't even know how to throw a
No.
punch. A lot of people.
No. And I like Kim has been doing her weightlifting thing, so I get that all the time. Like, oh, your wife's stronger than you and all of that stuff. So a lot of cats look at Kim, especially when she's doing her competition. They just assume that, I'm just her little cheerleader or whatever, and I am. Totally happy for her. But don't think you just gonna walk over me
Yeah.
and try my wife. That ain't how that operates.
That part right there, just like with my wife and our situation now. I told her, ever since I met her, the story she used to tell me of things she wanted to do as a little girl growing up. Things couldn't be done. So I'm in a position where I can provide a lot of things for her that she couldn't. I had to tell her a couple times. So I've never planned on doing competition anything. I'm not going to lie. I was just one of those guys. I'm going to work. provide for my family, and whatever goes on from there goes on. We met Pops. Pops encouraged us to do a lot. Don't just sit there on it, mother effort. Do it. You know? I'm like, yeah, you're right. So we both decided to do it. But I wanted her to get out there and do it first.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be her support so she can get through it. I do my little things now. Like we did our bench press competition so far. I'm number 1 in New Jersey. She's number 1 in New Jersey, state, world, all that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you keep going. You keep going. I'm going to be there to support you. Now look at her with the strict curl.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Absolutely.
So I have the ability to look at her and critique certain things in terms of technique because I'm watching everybody else, even though I'm not an expert. But I'm very technical with things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So she can tell me the aspect of being in the event, the actual competition. I can tell her what she did wrong so she can tell me what I'm doing wrong once I do it.
Yeah.
So that's where our teamwork dynamic comes in terms of us doing it together. But it's me supporting her and pushing her so that she can push me. So that's where it comes from.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I heard somebody ask you, Kiana, one time at a contest, was Zahir stronger than you?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And would you remind me what your answer was?
I said not by a long shot, and I'm not trying to be.
Yeah.
That's my husband. I don't want to.
Yes, I don't.
He's the husband. I have to play my role as the wife.
Yep. I don't want him to be. I don't want to be strong.
Because then I don't need him,
Yeah.
and I need my husband as well as want him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get asked that question all the time, and I'm very happy to tell people my wife is damn sure stronger than me when it comes to bench pressing and all of this. Even when before the heart surgery, like my goal was never to be like a power lifter. That was never my goal. I just wanted to look better and feel good.
Mm-hmm.
That was my goal. When Kim jumped into this, we went to Iron War some years back, and she was like, I think I want to do it. Hey, baby, I'm all with you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you got to do. He started training her, and I was my goal. So when we would go to these competitions, we was like, are you lifting? I ain't lifting shit. That's my wife over there lifting. So it was just, your wife is stronger than you? And there were been times where she could bench more than me. Like I said, I didn't train for that kind of stuff. But it never bothered me that she could lift more than me.
Yeah, he's being modest though. He when she would tell him, you can't, before he had the surgery, she'd tell him, you can't be lifting heavy, don't be lifting heavy, but he messed around and come to the gym and she didn't come. And I said, hey
man,
hey boy,
she
gonna watch this episode. And he's in there doing 315.
Oh wow!
Don't be telling people my business. Yeah, you don't get me in trouble, man.
He could do it. He just, he would keep it down when she was there. He'd go light. Right. When she wasn't there,
I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm gonna be calling your ass.
We wasn't around, Kim. He was showing out. So you're a little bit jealous. So you put him in his place. I got it bad. I got a double dose of jealousy. I told him already, we've been 35 years. For Mother's Day, I wrote inside her card, I said, I love you enough to die for you. And I also love you enough to kill for you. So that was my Mother's Day. I mean that shit too, Kiana.
That was romantic as hell.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was pretty goddamn good myself. I meant that shit though. I don't play that shit. So you're both competing now. Now, what is your goals? I think I should. Okay, I'm bringing it up now. Drug free. You both drug-free lifters.
100%.
Yes, 100%.
And these days, that's saying something. So what does it mean to you, Zahir, to be a drug-free athlete?
It means a lot. It means everything. Because just like I quote Samson, God is my steroid. We believe in Christ. We believe in Jesus. That's where our strength comes from. We didn't plan on being power lifters.
Yep.
We never trained to be a power lifter. Except for these past, year and a half?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only time we trained to be a power lifter for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
can I say something real quick? That's the thing with the two of you that amazed me. I was under the assumption you guys have been doing this a long time.
No.
So when I found out that y'all were still technically new to this, and to see what you have accomplished blows my damn mind because
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean it's amazing. So kudos to both of y'all because
Thank you.
Thank you.
just the strides that you have made in a year, crazy.
Yeah, as soon as she told me she did 60 push-ups, I said, girl, you that strong. You better get in some competition.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
doing
yeah,
60
yeah.
push-ups,
Yeah.
you going to kill some people out
Yeah.
there. And I was right. Every competition she in,
right.
she been killing them. Zahir, you been killing them. Now, what I already know, I'm pretty sure, what are your goals in powerlifting now?
Well, we have a shared goal.
Okay.
We want to bring Christ back into lifting, period.
Absolutely.
Back into just the camaraderie of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know nowadays, you see how people are acting, all the separation, the way people treat each other. We just love. We see that going away.
Oh,
And it's
man.
just not the same as how it was. Like I said, I'm 40, growing up seeing certain things, like when you were younger,
Mm-hmm.
doing your thing, and the older bodybuilders, Ronnie Coleman and all them, like even though they were rivals, they had a certain camaraderie. They still were friends outside of there.
Yep, absolutely.
Nowadays, you got people that's just talking and going to somebody else slick talking, trying to figure things out, and it's like we don't want no part of that.
Like, why?
Yep.
We just want to
Absolutely.
love everybody. We're here to do, our own thing and to show y'all that it's possible, drug-free, as well as in the spirit of Christ and brotherhood. That's the main goal.
Yep. And I mean, it may not be cool, but it's still right.
Yep.
Yeah. Nowadays, people, when you start talking about drugs, but way back in my day, when you start talking about drug-free, they be, keep
Wow.
that down. Keep that down. Don't mention that. Don't say nothing
Wow.
about that. They want to keep it down and keep it quiet because drug-free is not the popular thing anymore. I mean, it's
not.
more people on the other side of the fence than it is on the drug-free. And that's why I love what you guys are doing so much. We bring drug-free and proud. I'm proud of being drug-free.
Yeah.
Because you were naturally strong, born strong, and then just started competing. Because I tell Mike, that's your name, right? I tell Mike all the time, I say, you remind me, I have my favorite aunt, her name was Hattie B. Gooseberry. You remind me of Hattie B. Gooseberry
Wow.
so much, because Hattie B. Gooseberry was known in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, for beating ass.
Okay.
She would whoop men, women, whatever. She didn't care what kind of ass. If you had an ass, she was gonna whoop. Hattie B. Gooseberry did not play, and she was just naturally strong. Her and her husband were his Uncle Charlie. Charlie Gooseberry they would go toe to toe, and she would hang in there with him to the end.
Wow.
She went to a bar one night. Uncle Charlie used to when he get paid, he go to the bar, and Aunt Hattie went in the bar after him. She pulled the wig off, Kiana, put it on the
She
bar.
meant business.
Oh,
Wig.
she pulled that
When you
wig
pulling the
off
wig
and
off.
sit it on the bar. She said, it's on, boy. They was fighting up at the club big time. So you remind me a lot of her because she was just a naturally strong woman. That's right off. That's the end of the comparison. But she was just strong, man. She was my favorite auntie, and she called me Ted. But I loved her. She was my
Look
favorite.
like a damn Ted.
Yeah, you look like somebody's ass. Anybody's ass. Kiana.
That ain't
Yes,
very
sir.
brotherhood.
Kiana, now, have you been strong your whole life?
From what my family says, I have, because my mom, I remember her telling me a story when I was younger, because I was very close with my grandparents, very close, and we had like swings in the backyard,
Mm-hmm.
and my other two cousins, they wouldn't let me get on. My mom said, so she said that I stood in front of, I'm like, I think she said I was 2, like stood in front of it so that the swing, when they were swinging, like she said, they were swinging high, and she said that I just stuck my stomach out and just stopped it. She said, you didn't even fall, you didn't anything. And I'm like, what kind of child do I have? Like, this is me at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, I do remember of like me doing some work for my aunt in the yard, and like one of the big tree branches, like thick, like fell down. And she's like, I'm looking out the door because I'm trying to call your cousin to come help you. You up there breaking it, throwing the branch. Like it was like thick, like throwing. She like, hey, the girl, like she over there throwing that branch like nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was a big tree. I think it was like that wide, like the branch. And I'm steady like kicking and throwing it and stuff. And she's like, dang, this girl's strong.
Yeah. So you knew it from an early age that you were stronger than the rest of the kids.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I never knew that I was as strong as I am. Like
World
it took
championship.
like it took for people, like they're watching me in the gym and they're like, do you realize how strong you are? And I'm like, I was just trying to survive.
Yeah.
I'm in here just trying to survive because so much stuff, back to what Zahir was saying with us losing the twins, my body's been through a lot. And right now I still deal with like personal issues that people don't even know about. So I'm not bragging when I say this, it's the truth. I'm not even at 100% doing what I'm doing. So only God would know what I'd be able to do if I wasn't dealing with certain ailments I still have now.
Yeah.
That's a
Scary
thought.
Yeah, walk in.
I'm not bragging, it's the truth, yeah.
Into the Arnold, the biggest strict curl stage in strict curling.
Yes.
The contest Saturday, by the way, is a Arnold qualifier. But she walked in on the biggest stage in strict with the best strict curlers on the planet and kicked all the ass. And that's, that tickled the shit out of me. I was so happy.
Oh, I was tickled too.
Yeah, I was so happy. I mean, because it was like she came out of nowhere. I knew what was gonna happen. I knew if she saw it, I knew what was gonna happen, but they didn't know.
No.
And that tickled me so much for her to come in. It's like, oh wow, there's a new face in women's strict curling. I said, yeah, new sheriff in town. And you can not like it, whatever. Ain't shit you can do about it because that's just the way it is. Get stronger.
It gets stronger.
That's all you can do. So what are your goals? There is your potential limitless, but what are your goals in powerlifting?
I just want to keep pushing, like you said, keep going. Don't be like, all right, I got records, I'm good. Push as far as you can. Because I want women to understand that don't let anybody put boundaries and restrictions on you. So I love when somebody tells me exactly what I'm going to do because I'm making sure that you're wrong too.
Yeah.
Because, okay, if you say I'm going to do 325, I'm not going to do 325. I'm going to do more than that because now you put a number on what I'm supposed to do.
You put a limit on
and
me.
only God can do that to me.
That's right. Yeah, you can't put no limit on me.
So I just want women to understand that you could still be, if you're married, engaged, whatever, to still be submissive to your man and have that position that you're supposed to be playing. You can't play both, but still be strong. Because by me respecting and reverencing my husband, it doesn't make me weak.
Oh no!
So I still can be strong and still submit to him because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. Ooh, you gonna make some folks mad.
I don't even care. I got to stand in front of Christ, not in front of a man.
I was getting ready to say something, but I was like, Michael, just shut up.
No, you got to go ahead on.
No, I'm just saying it but you said it like that's going to the way the world is now.
Yep.
Especially for a woman to say she's submissive to her man is
and the biggest people going to be talking to other women.
It's going to be
right?
Oh yeah,
be other women.
Well, we can deal with it. On stage or the street.
But let me ask you this from a woman's perspective.
Yes.
We've had other women on this show that were bodybuilders, powerlifters, all of that stuff. What do you want to see more from the women? Do you want to see more women in powerlifting? Or do you think, or how do you see the field right now when it comes to women in powerlifting, strict curl, bench pressing, and all of that stuff?
Right now, I don't see, it's still not a lot. I don't know what the reason would be. I hope that it is more, that it will be. That's because like we have different people telling us when we're training, like, man, I wasn't even going to lift today, but I'm looking here watching y'all and I'm gonna lift. Like, and then one guy was like, oh, I wasn't even going to try to lift heavy, but I'm looking at what your wife is doing. I'm gonna lift heavy today. And it's like, that's what we want. We want people to get excited about it, not feel like it's a job. Feel like I love doing this and I want to do it. The only thing that I don't want, like I was saying to Coach Russo when he interviewed me, was I don't want the negativity. That's not what we're bringing. That's not, I can still build somebody up and still want the best for me. I don't have to tear people down for me to come up. And when I say I'm my own competition, everybody should be focused on themselves.
Absolutely.
Because if you're focused on yourself, who do you have to worry about?
Yep.
And whatever your accomplishment is, don't think because I came and did what I did that diminishes what you did. Because that should be enough for you. Mm-hmm. And you should be, content with that and just keep working. And like I talked to him a lot about it, and it's like, why is this going on? Why is that going on? Because I'm not a talker. Mm. And like he said, like, I don't, like, that's why I love Amanda Nunes and Cyborg, because it's like, they'll sit and they'll listen to people just run their mouth, running. And they sitting there like, we just gonna deal with it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I'll beat you on stage. Because no matter what you say, whether you like me, whether you think I'm on drugs or whatever, it's not gonna change what the numbers are. They go in the book.
Yep.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. So we had Nadia Storm on this show not too long ago. And I've seen firsthand the negative shit that she has to deal with, especially online. As a man, it bothers me, especially to see other men try to degrade this woman because she doing shit that they ass can't do.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
That's what it is.
So I'm going to ask you as a woman, and I'll ask you the same question as her husband, but how do you deal with the negativity that comes with what you do? Or do you get much negativity? Maybe you don't get as much negativity.
Not really. I think because I'm not as well known as Nadia. I think as time goes on, it's going to come.
Yeah.
So I pray to be able to handle that in a way that I know that the Lord will want me to, because that's what people need to understand. When because even last night when I was talking to Miss Leslie, and she even asked me, are you natural, Kiana?
She asked you?
Yeah. She just, and I said, Miss Leslie, I'm gonna look you in your eyes like I wanted to look you in your eyes and tell you that I am natural. I care about what I'm learning, what I've learned about the Lord, and that's why I said our page is that, and it's the lifting, because I am dead serious. Like, I fear Christ. I fear him. And to understand that this is my temple, your temple, what you do with it, you have to answer to him for that. And that scares me to even go that route. So whatever other people want to do, that's on you. But I do understand that eventually all of this is going to pass away. And I'm going to have to stand on Judgment Day in front of Christ for what I did. And to sit and really think about that, it puts in perspective a lot of how we conduct ourselves every day. We're not perfect. We still make mistakes. But I study the word. I don't just read it.
I just wanted to ask that question because, like I said, I see a lot of women who power lift or body build, and sometimes I just look at those comment sections and I'm thinking, we are in a world filled of some very unsecure men. Mm-hmm. And not just men. It's other women who look at them like, she's too big, or she's too this, she's too that. It's always something. I'm thinking, sometimes people are just doing things that they want to do, and it just because you don't want to do it, or you don't think it looks good, or you don't, whatever the case is. I see a lot of stuff online that I personally don't like, but I don't feel like it's my job to write a think piece on it.
Yeah,
every time I see something I don't like.
Yep.
Or if I see somebody doing some shit that I know I can't do, hey,
yeah,
congratulations, brother. Like, it's never the hate part of it. It always interests me to see that people could take so much time out of their day, sit on their phone to just say a bunch of negative stuff to people. Like, especially when they're doing good. To see somebody, a woman out training. Like I said, what you said a minute ago as far as like people coming up to you in the gym, it was the same way. When Kim started training, men would, just stare, not like in a sexual, it was just like, oh my God, like, she's lifting. So to see other people get excited about them, like, why would this be a negative thing? Mm-hmm. And so it always interests me, especially with women who have to go through this stuff, because I know how ridiculous men can be sometimes, as other women also can be when it comes to women powerlifting or bodybuilding. They're doing something just outside of the norm of what they think a woman should be doing. Mm-hmm. And like I said, anybody that goes to y'all page, I look at it sometime and I'm just like, damn. Like, but it's always it comes from a good place. Like like I said, I don't know y'all super well, but anytime I see y'all doing something, winning competitions, I'm just,
Yeah.
it's just like, why can't more people be like that? And so I'm glad to see that you are seeing the impact that you were going to have on other women as your star starts to grow, because it's damn sure about to explode. I can tell you that right now. So to know that you are having that effect on other women and could possibly bring other women into these fields is going to be a beautiful thing. Because like you said, you don't see a lot of women doing this stuff. So again, I just want to take a second to congratulate y'all, give y'all flowers, man. Because
thank you.
It's a beautiful thing to see.
I wanted to ask you guys, but both of you can answer this. You've gone through a lot. See, you lost 2 children?
Yes, twins.
Twins. There was a time when, I had my first open heart. I'm gonna ask you too. I had my first open heart surgery and everything. It was very similar to the one Mike just had. And recovering from that, and I thought I was done with that type of surgery, and then to have to have a heart transplant a few years later. And it was a time when I was like, Lord, I think this enough. I think you done about put me through enough, Lord. And I kind of, I'm humble. I'm humble. You humbled me. I don't please, I don't want to go through nothing else. Now, losing the twins, did you ever have a moment where you was like, Lord, why did this happen to me?
I'll say I ask that every once in a while, but he always comes back to say, because it's going to help somebody else. You were just chosen to be a part of this part of my plan. I understand what you want, and as you see, I've given you abundantly after that, which our daughter makes up for it.
She doesn't replace it, but she helps a lot.
Yeah, amen. But as a man, you want your namesake. That's where, the devil tried to get at me. Because like I said earlier, I'm overprotective when it comes to family.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have to take it back to my brother because of how close everything was. We were like this. We were tight.
I understand.
It was just me and him. Yep. So when he passed, you couldn't protect him. So what are you going to do? So we have our twins. Didn't break me. One of them passed while we're in the hospital visiting. Still in my ear. You couldn't save him neither. I'm like, okay, Lord, like, what's going on?
Wait a minute. Remember what you said too about how it was eerie to you to even see your name on a headstone.
Very. Zahir Crite. My whole name. Then we get our other son home from the hospital, and he ends up passing. My wife's passed out on the gurney, pregnant with our daughter who's here now. And I'm rushing from work because I got the call from my mother-in-law and my mother. And the whole time I'm getting there, crash the car. Do something to hurt yourself. Because it's not going to ever work out. That's what I'm hearing. I never told my wife that. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that because I still got people I have to protect.
Yep.
And you're not going to get to me. And I really had to lean on Jesus around that time because of the constant talking of trying to get me to jump off the ledge, so to speak, emotionally.
Now, just a minute. I'm going to interrupt just for a second. What do you think, or who do you think, what do you think that voice was that was telling you to do?
I know it's we all have our own personal demons, and that's exactly what it was. They all get instruction from the devil.
Yeah, absolutely. People think the devil ain't real,
and that's what
he wants you to.
Yes,
he wants you to believe that he's not real.
People think that the world thinks the devil's not real, and they're telling, "Oh no, it's just me." The devil is real.
Yeah,
and he try to get a prayer through and see what happens.
It's all
just
about
trying
manipulation.
to get a prayer through.
It's all about manipulation. We
Oh,
all have free will.
man.
Like my wife and I talk about it all the
All
time.
the time.
The devil has to go get permission to do something to you. But that's where the saying goes, where God never pushed you through anything you can't get through.
Yeah.
Because you really can't. If that was the case, you would just give up and do all this other stuff. But as long as we're strong and grounded in Christ, you got the strength to get through anything because he owns everything.
Yep.
And that's why we're still here, being able to talk to, Pops, Michael, on your podcast, and anybody else. I'm willing to share my story, and my wife in the same category with anybody that needs help.
Yeah.
And we talk about it a lot with people. And I know it saved people. Like even at my job, I've talked to a couple people about some things, and I've actually talked them off the ledge. But it was through love,
Right.
which is getting them to know Christ. If you don't know love, you don't know how to love yourself. Hence, the steroid usage or whatever you're doing to your body. You can't love somebody if you don't love yourself. And you don't know what love is until you love the true Christ.
Ooh.
Man,
That's simple.
I've never, I don't know what that's like to lose a child. And, I got 4 daughters. They're all grown now. I couldn't imagine losing any of them. But to hear you say, that, you had to go through this and now you are helping other people. Like I went through having this open heart surgery. And I told him, I was just like, I'll be 47 on Friday. I'm like, I'm still technically young. I'm going through all of this stuff, but I didn't understand why I was going through it. And I don't even think I told you this yet. I had a brother hit me the other day on Instagram, and I'm not going to put his name out there because I haven't asked him about it, but he told me, he was like, man, I had open heart surgery like a few months before you did. And he would say, and you know how bad I've been feeling. And there were just days I was just like, I can't get out of the bed. But to see this brother, he told me, he was like, I had surgery a few months before you did, same surgery. He was like, there are still days that I can't move. He said, so to see you up and about, moving around, he was like, man, you are a motivation to me. And I'm thinking to myself, as bad as I feel, questioning why I'm feeling this way or why I had to go through that. Just for that young brother to reach out to me to say, man, to see you up and moving is motivating me. I was like, okay.
That goes
I get it.
Until you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like I said, there are days I don't want to move. I mean, we filmed the episode last week, and I had to get myself up 3 hours beforehand because I knew it was going to take me forever just to take a shower.
Yeah.
Wash my face, put my clothes on. I knew it was going to take me a minute, and I'm barely moving. But for this brother to say, I had the same surgery you had, and he was like, I still, even though I had it before you, I still can't do half the stuff you're doing. And so now I talk to this brother pretty much on a daily basis now, and he was just like, man, just to see you doing what you're doing. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed, and we talked about this last week, there's so many things that could have took me out of here a long time ago. Being overweight, having an aorta dissection in 2019. I tell people all the time, my doctor told me that could have killed me. But it didn't. I'm still here. Open heart surgery. I'm still here. And I couldn't figure out why. I'm still here. But now I'm starting to understand as the days go by that sometimes we have to go through certain things because we are that vessel that God is going to use to help other people. So, like I said, I've never lost a child to talk about that aspect of it, but to go through some of the things that I've been through and questioning why I had to go through this, I totally understand it now. Totally understand it now.
I actually screamed it out when they came out and said, because I remember the doctor, I was pregnant with our last child, and he came out, because I did CPR on him, like he was at work. So like he died next to me. I was asleep. Woke up, something didn't feel right. I knew he wasn't breathing, so I did the CPR on him. Get to the hospital. I'm still hoping. I'm still praying. I just remember the doctor coming out, because I was standing there, and he was like, and I just started screaming, like, why? And then I remember passing out. So they had to admit me because I was pregnant to make sure that I was okay and to do the ultrasound on our daughter. And to this day, to me, it's still hard looking at, I can look at the pictures of them, but not the ultrasound pictures. I think because of the plans that we talked about that we had for them. And through all of this over the years of praying and asking the Lord why, There's two things I'm touching on real quick. The answer that I got from him was, your thoughts are not my thoughts, and your ways are not my ways. Isaiah 58. And we'll understand in time why this happened. And then I thought about the spiritual warrior in Ephesians chapter 6. Everybody says, yeah, I want to be on the front line and this, that. Do you understand what it means to be a spiritual warrior? If you're on the front line, you're going to get the brunt of the attack. The strongest and the bravest go on the front. So when we get hit with situations like your situation, everybody, they don't bounce back or come back from anything like that. They're just too weak. So God picks certain people that he knows are strong enough to get through those things, to protect the ones that doesn't mean that they're not on the line. They're just not the strongest or the bravest. So you have to be in a situation, he's going to sacrifice you to save many. Because you read so many stories in the Bible where he did that.
Yeah.
And the other thing, like I keep telling people, if it's right here in the doorway, if it's a fire and it's like coming up behind you, are you going to stand there and burn up in the house? Or are you going to go through the fire and get burnt a little bit, but be on the other side and be safe? So sometimes you go through situations like that, and you might be hurt and bruised, but you still got out. You still made it through. It's making you stronger. And the other thing we were talking about, because we've been reading it, both of us, for the last couple of days, in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, it talks about Paul, the thorn in the flesh. Because I remember talking to Midwest about this. Paul begged the Lord 3 times to take the thorn out. The thorn was there to keep him humble. So that's why we said that with us, with the lifting and the Lord, we're serious. What you see is what you're going to always see with us. We'll never get to the point of, like, yeah, I have these different titles. What is that? When I stand in front of the Lord. Because if I'm not using them somehow to show my love to him, what is it? What are they? And that's what keeps us humble, because he'll tell you, yes, I worked hard to get the medals. I'm going to do more, but it's for self-fulfillment. It's for what we're trying to get to. And it's beyond the lifting. He'll tell you they're wrapped up in the room. I don't even look at them. I get them. I put them away. And I'm not saying it's like, I'm not disrespecting the medals. I'm not. But when you always compare, how many souls did you help get saved? To that, what is that?
Yeah, I remember thinking it was everything when I was a youngster. The year when I thought, when I a young man, when I go to them competitions, and when I tell you I pointed them rest of them cats, I said, which one of you motherfuckers is coming in and say, I meant that. And it was everything to me to be the best in the world. That's all. I wanted to be the best on the planet, the strongest. That meant the world to me when I was young. I mean, I did not care. And when the doctor told me, say, you go out there and you weigh your heart condition, you could die on the stage, I don't care. Long as I win, Doc, I don't care. Great. That's a wonderful way to die. That's how I felt about it. And then when God humble you, he's the chief humbler. He know how all of that, which one of the all, and I am the one, all of that went out the window. When he humbled you, he struck all of them titles, all of that. People tell, hey, see, you this, you that. I ain't nothing. Absolutely, I'm less than nothing. You this, you that. No. I am absolutely nothing. All them titles, that's just like filthy rags. That is nothing in the sight of God. Right. And all them, I'm like, God, why do I have to go through this? One person, you got your one. But one person reached out to me, hey, because of your story, because I heard you talking about what you went through, it helped me get through something. When I heard that, I was like, oh, well, now I know. Now I know why I had to go through that. So if it was just that one person, but it's so many people. Thousands have told me.
All over the world.
They come, when we go to the expo and stuff, because of you, because of your story, I was able to get through something.
I tell
Man.
people all the time, for me, being on the outside looking in, to go to these expos or go to these prisons that we go to, is just to see grown men in tears. I mean, in full tears. Some of the biggest, strongest men you probably ever seen in your life in tears. And they were like, CT, like, your story saved me. Like, I was on the verge of committing suicide, but I didn't, because I ran across one of your videos. Or I got in the gym and saved my life because I was overweight, but I saw your videos. And sometimes I just sit there and and I asked him, I'm like, does this ever get old? And he was just like, no. But he was like, I don't feel like I deserve any of this praise. And I'm just like, but Pops, your story has helped so many people. So many people. And like I said, and it's not just men, it's women too. Lines wrapped around the building. I just came all the way here from Europe or the Middle East or wherever, just to shake your hand and tell you thank you for saving my life. And it's just like, and like I said, I didn't really understand all of that till I started dealing with the crap that I'm dealing with. And it's just like, for people to reach out to me and say, man, your story is motivating me, it's helping me. It's like, okay, I get it now.
Yep. It's
Totally get it now.
Absolutely worth it. Everything that you had to go through. When you hear that, everything that you had to go through, y'all same way. Listen, when a person come to you and tell you, Zahir, Kiana, because I heard your story, it changed my life or saved it. It helped me get through what I was going through. It's absolutely worth it. Every last thing I had to go through was absolutely worth it. I wish I had to go through some more. No, I don't.
Hold on now.
Absolutely worth it.
But see, when you get to that point of saying that and understanding it, that's what makes you dangerous. Very dangerous to the devil. Because he's sitting here throwing all these darts. He got his demons trying to throw all these darts. So that's why we say, like, we joke. It's like a joke, but it's not a joke. He can't send any demons over. He got to come himself for us. Because we look at that, like, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
Because that means I'm doing something right. If you're worrying about me to the point of where you can't even send an assignment, you got to come do it yourself. So I flip everything with him because he does. And the difference with him and God is Satan tries to go through your mind. He tries to mess with your mind to alter your heart. God goes through your heart to renew your mind.
You know, that just hit home for me.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. After I lost all the weight I had lost and, you know, my body started to transform. I'm like, okay, I'm getting arms and muscles and all of this stuff. I think it was starting to go to my head a little bit because I was overweight my whole life. Like I said, walking around at almost 500 pounds. To lose all of that weight, pack on the muscle that I was able to pack on, and people was like, oh, man, look at your arms. You look good. I was letting that go to my head, and I think part of another reason I'm going through this is for God to change my heart and also change my mind, because now it's like I get more gratification to sit here at 180-some pounds looking sucked up, but for people to say, hey, everything that you've been through over the last month and a half is motivating me to get better. Or to me, that's more gratifying than people telling me I have
really
arms
important.
or you look, or your body's looking amazing. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I don't, not saying I like what I see when I look in the mirror now, but I do know once I get it back, it's going to be a totally different mindset when I get it back. It's not going to be this kind of self-glorification of, oh, I did this. It's like, okay, now people get to see the other side of this. I've been through the heart surgery. And to be able to motivate myself to get back into that gym and get all that back, I feel like God knew what he was doing when he did that, because he had to humble me.
You're thorn.
And being humble is not letting the Lord humble you is not a bad thing. That's, to me, like I said, as the days go by, it's like I'm understanding my life's journey a little bit better. It's like, okay, Michael, you were letting some of that stuff go to your head a little bit. And sometimes you got to do some self-reflection. And I don't think a lot of people can look in the mirror and be honest with themselves. And I had to stand in the mirror looking at the skin sagging, the arms gone, everything is gone. And I'm just like, all right, I get it. And you were really letting, you know, I knew I had to get the weight off so I could be here for my family. That was the biggest catalyst behind me dropping that weight. But I think after I lost it, especially as I got into the gym, it was just like, it got away from that a little bit. And God said, okay, pull you back in a little bit. And I think he had to reel me back in a little bit, and I get it. And I told him last week, every day I text him, how you feeling, Pops? I'm blessed. And I got it in a sense, even though I knew there were days he wasn't feeling good and he was still saying I'm blessed. That part I really understand now because I'm still blessed to be here. God could have took me away from here a long time ago. You know, I sit here now, my granddaughter's with me, and I'm just like, I could have.
Summer P.
That's my Summer P.
So
and I told him last week, I said, God could have took me out here in 2015, 2016, but he kept giving me these chances. And I said, I sit there at night and I hold her sometimes. Like, I could have missed out on all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I could have never experienced the life of my grandchild just because of the way that I was living. And God saw favor in me to give me not just a second chance, but a third chance, a fourth chance, a fifth chance. And I was just like, why? And it's like, because you still got work to do.
Yeah.
And the work is not what I thought it was, you know.
He definitely has a way of putting things into perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even when you don't see it.
So
He'll
now,
force you to see it.
you know, because I made a comment and people got mad at me last week when I was talking about Flex. And I said, you know, Pops, I said, I sit here and for Flex Wheeler to text me every day, ask me how I'm doing, that humbled me because I'm thinking, I'm nobody. People don't really know me from doing this show with him. And I had so many people reach out to me. It was like, I wish you never would have said that you're a nobody.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes you have to really look at the words you let come out of your mouth when you're talking about yourself. And I had to really self-reflect on that part of it too. And I didn't mean it like I'm nobody. I just meant it in the fact that people don't know me, like I'm not a celebrity figure. I meant it in that aspect, but I totally understood what people were saying. Like, you cannot talk about yourself like that. You are somebody. And then, like I said, the more people that reach out to me and tell me about their story compared to mine or how I'm helping them, I'm like, all right, they're right.
Honestly,
And-
yeah. I did see that, and I was wondering, like, why did he say that? Like,
And I didn't, like I
think
said,
that-
I didn't mean it like in a
Okay.
negative light. It was just like, I understand the platform that we have with this show. And I know that a lot of people know me now because of him. And ever since me and him been associating with each other over the years, like, I've never tried to paint this picture like, you know, I'm this, everybody knows Michael Wright. People know me because of CT Fletcher and that I do this show with him. I've caught a lot of flack for it. I get a lot of motherfuckers talking shit. But again, like I said, for all of this to go down and for people now to say, this ain't got nothing to do with your relationship with CT. This had everything to do with us watching you and what you're going through and how you're handling it and how you're pushing through. It's helping us push through. It ain't got nothing to do with him. And I was like, okay, I get that. I got to totally look at this through a whole new set of eyes because I think sometimes I just get the blinders on when it comes to this kind of stuff. So for listening to you guys and just listening to some of the things you're saying, it's like it's just hitting me right in the heart because it's so real. It's so real.
What do you do when somebody comes to you and praising you? Kiana, oh, you're so strong. You're the champion. You're undefeated. The same question to you, Zahir. But what do you?
When people say that, I just smile and say thank you. But it's like I heard you say it, but it one in one ear and out the other. Because if I ever start to succumb to that, that's when I'll get nervous. Because I feel like with a lot of people, when they constantly hearing things like that and they're not processing it the right way, meaning spiritually, how do you submit to the Lord? Because if you get this godlike complex about yourself and people are praising you, you don't feel like you need to get down and praise. So when you go before the higher authority, will you go down?
And that's where I got lost. That's what I was saying. Like, as I started transforming my body, I'm just like, oh yeah, I started getting that weird complex. And I think a lot of the stuff that I'm dealing with was God's way of just, you know, sometimes you got to tug on that chain and pull you back in there. And I think, and I think that was part of it. And I'm glad he did that because, especially before it got too out of hand. where it could have affected,
Yeah.
you know, my wife, my kids, my family, all of that stuff. And I'm gonna we almost out of time, but like y'all are just saying things that are just like boom, 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 just hitting me right in the heart. So
See, that's what things are for. Like the stuff that we go through, meaning as people, it's supposed to.
yeah.
It's supposed to show us a different side of certain things that we didn't look at to help us get through whatever problem, whether it be public or personal. That way we can get through it. Because you might see something, you might be going through the same situation as I am. And I might go one way, you might go another, but I might not have seen it your way until I seen you do it.
Yeah.
And it might be better. And vice versa, you know? And when people are so focused on what everybody else is doing and not on themselves, they can't see those type of things. So just like, you know, you guys with your surgeries and stuff, I'm like, all right, I had my little surgeries and everything. Like, you know, I had a scope on my shoulder done, nothing crazy, but it's like, I can't sit here and complain about this. Look what y'all are going through.
Yeah.
I got to work past this. This ain't nothing but an arm moving. Y'all have something that operates your whole body.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I can't do that because my shoulder. No. These two men are sitting here that had their hearts touched on physically by somebody. And they still pushing through.
And that's the part that's crazy to me. Like I talked to my doctor yesterday. He was, you know, making sure I'm resting and all that stuff. He was like, Michael, you got to understand, like, we opened you up. We saw your heart beating.
Wow.
And that's when I'm kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, we saw all of this. All of this was open. And I'm like, ugh. Like, sometimes it's just hard to grasp, like, the traumatic experience that is. And because, you know, I'm you know, you a man. Like, okay, I got to get back to work. I got to provide for my family. And it's just like, sometimes you just got to sit down and be still. And that's been honestly the hardest part about this, not being able to work, not being able to provide for my family, having to sometimes depend on them to help me do certain things. I'm just like, this ain't a man. This ain't what a man is. I'm supposed to be at work, no matter how bad I'm feeling.
How many times do I say that?
I have to beg him.
I gotta go.
I have to like plead and beg for him to stay home.
I'm never late. I'm always there. I don't call out. I'm there. So I get it 100%.
Yep.
But that's a man that loves his family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Pops, to your question. When you said about when somebody says, you know, it's staying humble. Always say, my strength is not me, it's God. My strength came from him. I'm just trying to cultivate what he gave me. You know, but thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Or I would say, yeah, I just got great leverage. I know I use leverage very well. And that's it. But it came from God. It ain't me. It ain't me at all. I'm just a vessel. That's it.
Yep.
All right. So before we get out of here, and this show will air next week, so the competition will be over. But Saturday, you will be competing at, both of you guys will be competing at Iron Addicts Gym with the strict curl. What's your expectations coming out of that? So I can play this clip back after next week.
I know it's going to be over. I like to like surprise. I know it's like I told Pops before we started. It's going to be over 120. It's definitely going to be over 120. And maybe I'll be like they said, maybe I'll do it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to do it. But maybe this Saturday, it'll be already in the red territory.
Okay. So here, you competing as well. What about you,
Sir? I just want to do the best that I can in front of Pops. I feel like I owe it to him, you know, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be powerlifting. He put that bug in my ear.
But Pops, let me ask you a question before we go. There are always certain people, like I said at the beginning, you bring on this show that you seem to grow very close with. Not everybody, but a few. What is it about these two that makes them so special to the point where you call them family?
Hey, they are what
and I say that because you don't do that with everybody.
Yeah, as they say, real recognize real. And I knew right from our first meeting that these two people were real. And it ain't a whole lot of real folks left, especially in this industry that we happen to be in. So when you run into some real people, you know, and you're a real person, then they automatically become family. So that's
Thank you.
my daughter and my son right there.
Consider
Love
yourself
y'all.
very, very blessed when it comes to that one, because when he first met me, that motherfucker talked so bad to me. Look, I'm going to give you my phone number. Don't be calling me all times of the night and shit. I had to get a whole lecture. I was like, boy, you just be bringing everybody in now. He dogged me out the first time he met me.
Hey, I have to give him the speech. Hey, you can have a phone number. Motherfucker don't be calling me all the time. I won't answer.
And still to this day, I'll barely answer if I call him now. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That was another episode of the F Y'all Podcast. Before we go, as always, IronAddictsBrands.com is where you get all your official CT Fletcher merchandise. If you're not getting it from IronAddictsBrands.com, the shit is a fake. So I'm gonna put it to you like that. Did you get all that other stuff squared away? Or they not selling the stuff on Amazon? You got all that squared away.
Yeah, them motherfuckers is in court right now being sued by some other people that cheated.
All right, so IronAddictsBrands.com is where you get all your official merchandise, your CT Fletcher merchandise. That ugly bastard right there.
Well, coming from one ugly bastard, I don't mind. I don't mind you saying.
All right, father and son training still going on?
Yes, sir.
All right, so if you want to set up a father and son training with CT and his son Samson, reach out to Samson on Instagram at the official Samson Fletcher. The Samson Fletcher Official. Now I'm drawing a damn blank.
On Instagram.
Samson Fletcher Official on Instagram. You can DM Samson to set up your father and son training. Also, you still doing every workout Saturday?
Yeah,
now?
workout
every
Saturdays.
Tell them about that real quick.
Workout Saturdays from 10 to 12. If you want to work out, bring $20, bring your ass on over there and I'll cuss at you.
All right. Also, one more thing before we go. Be on the lookout. I don't know when, but in the very near future. So you guys remember the training video that CT did with the Hurt Syndicate, AEW, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MVP. We just got word the other day that it might be another one coming up real soon here. So be on the lookout for another CT Fletcher training video with the Hurt Syndicate. This time, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, and another little gentleman that you may know named MJF. Will be joining the fray, and CT will be putting them through another workout. Hopefully not crashing them out too bad like you did the last.
Kill them, man. Put them don't show up if you don't want to get your ass kicked.
So like I said, you'll see us in July at All In. Also, next week on July the 2nd, we will be in Ontario, California for another live AEW event. So you'll be seeing some more backstage content. More with Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, MVP, our boy Will Hobbs, Shane Taylor, Samoa Joe, all kind of people. We'll be getting a lot of backstage content with them, so be on the lookout for that. We're going to end this show like we do every show. Fuck y'all.